Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee with Craig. This is where we talk about everything firearms related when it comes to news, politics, culture, the Second Amendment, you name it. This is the spot where the conversation happens. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to like and share our video feed. By the way, Coffee with Craig is brought to you by Sacramento Black Rifle and Sparks Black Rifle, folks who believe not just in the commerce in firearms, but also in the fundamental right to be able to keep and bear arms. And, they're in it because they want to make sure that we all have that opportunity to exercise that right. So please support them. Support Sparks Black Rifle if you're there in Reno or Sparks area. Also, if you're in the Sacramento area, please support Sacramento Black Rifle or go to their website. You can just Google them. You'll know how to find them. Anyway, let's get into today's topic. So I was just kind of, going through various different stories the other day, and I came across a story in Politico that I found to be very intriguing, and that was the fact that about 70% of people say that they believe that what the major news outlets put out there is fake news. And when they say the major news outlets, they're talking about, the CNNs, the MSNBCs. I think to a certain degree they even believe the Foxes, but also the local news stations. And they fall into line because, well, quite honestly, there is a lot of fake news out there. There is a lot of stuff that is being reported by the news that, in fact, first of all, let's be clear that those that are in the news media have what they would label to be a different idea as to what is fake news and what is not fake news. They would label fake news as, well, anybody who is deliberately, and this is what Don Lemon said when he was talking about fake news. Don Lemon from CNN. He said, well, it's intentionally putting misinformation out there in an attempt to mislead people. And, while I'm definitely one to say that there are probably people in the mainstream media who are, in fact, going out of their way to they don't believe that they're going out of their way to mislead people. In many cases, they have an agenda. And what they have done with their agenda, and their agenda in this case is to ban guns. And what they've done with their agenda is they've set it up in such a way where they only intake information and put out their quote-unquote facts, verified or unverified, that support their particular position, which is, in this case, once again, to ban guns. And what's even worse about it is that they've gone so far as to put out completely and utterly misleading and false information and perpetuating it as fact. I am quite positive that many of you out there have seen, for example, this piece on the how dangerous an AR-15 can be.
Take a look at this video used to shoot a watermelon using an AR-15.
Now, we all know that, let's just say that we all know that was a bunch of hooey, because the person actually was utilizing taking a picture of a shotgun, but saying that this is what an AR-15 can do. Once again, it fits their narrative. But when you see stuff like that, when people who know and recognize that is a shotgun see it, and then they look at these people, they assume that the media knows, in fact, what they're talking about. But when they put something like that out, then it makes you believe, well, it's fake news, because clearly they do not know what they are talking about. Here's another example. Now, this is an interesting one. This is basically a story that was done by CNN, and this was during the bump stock debate, and they're saying that we really need to fight to kill and end. We need to ban bump stocks, and so CNN, the experts, the international news network, decided we're going to do a video animation to show people how a bump stock works.
These bump stocks said that they did not have the power, at least in their kind of lawyer's opinion, to regulate these items. Is what the NRA is saying the ATF needs to go back and reconsider, and that, I'm told, is the preferred route for Republican leadership that is very wary of a lengthy, kind of toxic gun debate. It's not on their agenda, and very concerned about what that might mean going forward. But it's worth noting, Senator Dianne Feinstein, Democrat in the Senate, who is introducing a bill to ban bump stocks, says that's not enough. Legislation is the answer, as you noted, Wolf.
Yeah, so those of you who saw what happened right there, you kind of, one, you recognize that it really wasn't a bump stock. And number two, you also recognize why, in fact, that particular stock will not do what a bump stock does. Because once again, they put stuff out like this, and all that looks like is a regular telescoping stock. But they're too stupid to get that. They're so stupid that they don't even get what they make themselves easy victims. I mean, in terms of being able to be made fun of. And here's a cool video. Actually, well, some people just kind of decided, yeah, let's make fun of them. Yeah, so let us just be clear. Those of you who decide that this is the sort of stuff that you want to perpetuate, we recognize you for who you are. We recognize that you have an agenda, and your agenda is, in fact, fake news. But there is actually, and to be honest with you, there is actually one entity for which I do need to, I probably need to offer an apology. Maybe quite possibly. That would be USA Today. You remember when they put out this particular image right here? That this is supposed to be a potential modification to the AR-15. Well, to be honest, and once again, like I said before, I have to be honest. I did not think that this existed or was possible. Sometimes I have to admit it, but sometimes I am, sometimes I'm wrong. This was something that I found when I was at SHOT a couple of months ago. Once again, I believe, now to be quite frank with you, I really believe that this is something that was actually created as a result of this particular thing. But hey, I figure I'll give them a little bit of credit. Maybe, just maybe that existed before. But hey, I figure if the zombie apocalypse ever comes around, I can thank USA Today for putting out and for helping to create and be what's the word I'm looking for being creative in their display, in their encouraging. Really, they encourage people to create things, kind of like people were encouraged to do this.
Take a look at this video used to shoot a watermelon using an AR-15.
Yeah. On that note, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the fight for civil rights and for supporting the Firearms Policy Coalition. We are the home in the fight for civil rights. We are not fake news. Have fun. Stay safe. Stay free.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.